Okay, welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner Classics as known classics. This is episode number 1406 and the 1300th Doubleshot. Yep, so what am I doing for the 1300th Doubleshot for this series? Why, two DC trades. First up is a trade that's not that thin, especially this book only contains like two comic books. This is Dark Knight, Death Metal, War of the Multiverses. Yep. This book collects two giant-sized one-shots. Yes, this particular event loved its one-shots, and oh boy, there's a lot of them. Now, this one contained just two this time. We have last stories of the DC Universe and the last 52 War of the Multiverses. Multiple different stories in here by many different writers. Yep. We have Scott Snyder, James Tynion IV, Josh Williamson, Mark Waid. Yes, Mark Waid got a chance to write a story for this book. You were thinking, really? Mark Waid? Like, what is he working right now? As of currently, I can't think of anything. Jeff Lemire, yeah, that is a familiar name. Yes. I think he had just returned DC not too long ago. Marka Tamakai, yes, the same woman who I believe currently she's working on. I think she's working on Detective Comics, if I'm not mistaken. Gail Simone, that's not a familiar name. Christopher Seba, that's a familiar name. Especially this is the guy to go from Keith Giffen on Blue Beetle. Cecile Castelli, good writer. Kyle Higgins, met this guy, really good guy in person. He hasn't done much DC stuff in years. Like, he mostly does independent stuff. I think he's working right now. I just read the recent issue that came out this week. Radiant Black. Magdal Vezico. Regal Sawyer. Chi Grayson. Margaret Bennett, great person to meet. Matthew Rosenberg. I believe this was actually the first book he worked on DC. Because mostly, when I think of Matthew Rosenberg, I think of a lot of his Marvel work he's done over the years. Though I think the most recent book I think he did for Marvel, because I know he's one of the writers for Urban Light, Batman Urban Legends right now. I believe he worked on this most recent Marvel book was, I think it was Carnage, Blood, White and Black, I think it was, and Justin Jordan. Yes. The artwork is done by Travis Moore, Dexter Soy, Scott Kubelich. That's a familiar artist. There's this guy name a while. Raphael Albuquerque, Francis Mantle, Daniel Semper, Magan Hetrick, Chris Mugenham, Murky Alfio, Paul Peliter, Alex Malid. I met Alex Malid, very nice guy. He has been friends with Brian McApinnis for about 20 years, and, well, the guy loves working with him. Scott Nolans, Athlea Martinez, Papa Man, and Kenia Maduria, Rob Gorthy, Mike Henderson, Noah Bram, and Mike Morales. This cover art here is done by Dan Morita. Now, I should point out, though, that looks like the other art cover here. Yeah, anybody can tell that's a Gary Frank artwork, which they don't list that here. I'm not really sure why. I mean, yeah, you look at this artwork. Which artist do you think of when you think of this particular artwork? It's Gary Frank. And yet, this book doesn't list of him as the artist, which I'm like, that's kind of weird. Now, there's a bunch of stories. One story I want to talk about first is a story of Green Arrow Black Canary, where they meet, get this, a woman from an alternate universe who her parents are Green Arrow Black Canary, except that this is kind of reversal, where Diana was the Green Arrow, and and Green Arrow was the Black Canary. Yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting. Yes. Them having a daughter, that's different per se, because the only alternate version I can think of Green and Black Canary where these two actually had kids was from the Justice Gods Among Us universe, where Black Canary had a child with Green Arrow, where it was a boy named Connor. A daughter that's not unusual, Green Arrow having a daughter. This is one of two I could think of. The other being from the Arrow TV show, where you have, I think it's Mia Queen, who is the daughter of Green Arrow, and her mother is Felicity Smoke, a character that lost all popularity midway through season 3. Yep. It's overall a really good story. There's one really good story in here. It features almost all the Titans. Like the very first story, you open this up, and it's all about the Titans. It's basically Donna Troy, and she's talking to Beast Boy, and we see pretty much like all the Titans. We see Tim Drake, who was in a rabbit costume. We see pretty much right here. We see Young Justice. We see Hawk and Dove. I should point out though, these two have not been seen since Titans Hunt. Back in 2016, that was the last these two were seen. We see also, you recognize that guy? Right here. Bunker. I see the Wonder Twins. I see, let's see, we see Tara and Jericho. We see Mammoth and his sister. I'm not sure why they're there for it, not Titans. We see Garth. We see Nightwing. That's, of course, after his restoration. I see also Starfire, Cyborg, Bumblebee. That's interesting. We haven't seen her since Dan Abnett ended that era for the Teen Titans. I believe the one in the red blue, I think that's Raven. Ooh, here's one for you. If you look very closely at that mill spread, you might be wondering, who is this white-skinned woman? That is Argent from the Dan Jurgens Teen Titans run from the 1990s. Yeah, her last appearance publication-wise was back in Teen Titans 100 back in 2011. This one shot came out last year. So this is her first appearance in publication in 9 years. Where the heck she's been, I have no idea. I also see spoiler on this page. Yeah, she's right there next to Bunker. She's right. Let's see if I can put the right. Let's see, where is she? Ah, there she is, right there. There's Bunker. The woman, that's actually Arrowlet. It's Arrowlet. She's actually from the Young Justice comic. We see, yes, yeah, we can tell. The Blue Beetle's here. Yes. I believe for him, I think this is the first time he's appeared since the end of his solo book. Yep. Now, in case you're curious though, like, what is up with Jericho and Tara's costumes? Yeah, by the way, this is Tara Markoff right here, the blonde. Yeah, that's Tara right there. Yeah, that's Tara. And there's Jericho right there. Yes. The purpose behind these costumes is actually something Chris Priest came up with when he was doing his Deathstroke run, when Deathstroke had his own Titans team. They were pretty much good mercenaries. And yes, we do have the Adam Glass Teen Titans group, which, nothing wrong with the group. I just like the stories very much. We see Red Arrow, Crush, Roundhouse, and Daja. Yep. Oh, and by the way, Natasha Irons, a.k.a. Steel. Yes, Kyle Rayner's here too because, well, he was part of Dan Abnett during the post-No Justice era. Yeah, for some reason, Dan Abnett decided to add the group. I have no idea why. Yes, I've never actually met Dan Abnett. If I'm going to ask him this very good question. Why did you add Kyle Rayner to your group? It's one of the most baffling things I've ever heard of. Yes, that's Aqualad. Yep, that's Jackson Hyde. And look, we have Ravanger. Yes, the woman's the back, everybody. That is Ravanger. How did I tell it's Ravanger? The white hair and the outfit. Yep. I mean, it's great to see these people. And in the background here, we see Nightwing and Garth. Yes, Nightwing. Great to see these people. Cyborg, for some reason, they decided to, for this book, update his look. I'm not really sure why, but they did. Yeah, and we see like various like teams. We see, it looks like the Adam Glass run. That's the Dan Abnett Post No Justice book. This book group right here, that's the Dan Jurgens Titans book from the 90s. That's the Jeff Johns Teen Titans book. Everybody's least favorite version of the Teen Titans, from Scott Lobdell, the Marv Wolfman George Perez run. Let's see. This is the classic Teen Titans from the 60s to 70s. And Donna Troy. Yep. And who's the guy in green? I think that's supposed to be... I'm not sure who that's supposed to be. I think it could be... I'm not really sure. Yeah. I'm not really sure. They don't see the guy's name. It could be It can't be Ragman. I don't know who this guy is, but it's great though. We have a Titan story in here. And yes, Wally's here too. Now, why is Donna mad to see Wally? Because of Heroes in Crisis. That's simple gist of it. That's interlude. We have an interlude with Hal Jordan. This is the Jeff Lemire story. Like, you're probably thinking, Jeff Lemire writing a Hal Jordan story? Well, the guy's doing cosmic stuff, so why not? And Sinestro's here. Yeah, and he's back with the Yellow Lanterns, which is better than the stupid Violet Lanterns. I'm not sure what the heck Scott was thinking with the Violet Lanterns. And he's back being the classic Sinestro. And of course, he goes back for one day only, back with the Green Lanterns. And then we see the Question. You're probably thinking, is this the Question? No, not really. It's just a story for Wonder Woman by Marco Temecai, where she basically first meets up with her mother, and then the freaking Riddler. Yes, the Riddler. And of course, you have her and Donna Troy fighting a bunch of Robins. Well, evil Robins. Yep. And then we have the story of Black Canary and Green Arrow meeting their daughter from an alternate universe, which, yeah, this is great. I love this. This is an awesome story. And look, this is what I mean. Like, we have Oliver Queen being freaking Black Canary. Yeah, it's so funny. Yep. Yeah, it's so interesting. Her name is Laurel. This woman's name is Laurel Lance Queen. Like, wow, it is so cool. That is Quest of a Distant Storm. This is a Gail Simone story, which, thank you, Gail Simone. This is an awesome story. And we have Green Arrow bring out a ring. Like, oh, well, we're got to be damned. I think he's thinking of proposing to her, which, who knows if DC will ever actually allow this again, even though it's been like, oh, how long has it been since they were at the wedding? That was like 12 years ago. Who knows if they'll allow this again? Next story is focused on Aquaman. Yeah, Aquaman with a beard and the freaking trident. Yeah, it's a great story. Now, is this written by Kelly Swanwick? Nope, this is a Curse of Ashima story. Yep, despite the fact this probably came out when the Aquaman will be published. And we have a Batman story. Yes, a Batman story. Because it's a Batman style event. So why not feature Batman? Yep. With him with the spikes is pretty much of the freaking 90s. And who does this story? Is it Scott Snyder? No. No, it isn't. We also have it where, apparently for one night only, we actually have Nightwing and Batgirl making out. Oh, and here's something interesting that the artist did. Like, if you notice the costume she's wearing, that is not the costume she was wearing at this point. Oh no. It was the one with the very skinny domino mask and the bunny and the bat ears and the hair. Now, this is actually the look she had before that. I'm not really sure why they put in this look for. Maybe the artist probably felt as though Marika Alvarado, by the way, this is the story done by Cecile Castillo. My guess is the reason why they put her in this, she put in this costume. Because I'm sure even she pointed out, though, the previous costume, the costume was fine. The mask sucks. Yep. And then we have a Superman story. And anybody can tell by the artwork, this is a Francis Manapult story. Yes. Francis Manapult is the artist. He's always been a very good artist. I mean, who would have thought Francis Manapult would actually draw a Superman story? That's interesting. Though he did do Trinity. And the story is basically a story featuring the Superman family. The Superman's got a mole in the story. And here's the thing, the writer of this one is Mark Waid. That's interesting. I think this may have been the first comic he actually wrote for DC since 2008 when this came out. Like, of course, this book came out last year. So it had been 12 years since he actually wrote this story, since he actually wrote anything for DC. I'm like, so what brought him back? DC was a short story for Dark Knight of the Mail. That's interesting. Yeah, and of course they forgive him. And then we see, apparently we have it because, get this, because Batman's got he's got a Black Lantern ring. He decides to resurrect Roy Harper. Yes, Roy Harper. You're probably thinking, really? Of all the people to bring back, you heard like the Roy Harper really been dead at this point for about a year? Well, he's brought back as a Black Lantern zombie, but he's probably gone by the end of this event. But, yeah. Of course, that last story is done by Josh Williamson, Jameson IV, and Scott Snyder. Yep. And look, more Gary Frank artwork. which they don't credit here, which I think is stupid. Ooh, if you look at this cover, you might be thinking, wait, is this a Justice League International? Yes, because you have Batman. Yeah, this is from the 80s lineup. This is probably like a homage to the 80s. Mostly, with the exception of one thing here. Like, this is mostly put the 80s looks for everybody, except for Shazam and except for Captain and Mary Marvel. Yeah, these two have the post-Flashpoint looks for some reason. And you're probably thinking, wait, is that the Sandman on the cover? Make a cameo? Yes, Neil Gaiman's Sandman. Here's the thing about this guy. This guy's been dead since the 90s. Those very stories feature him, but chronologically, the guy's been dead since the end of the original ongoing series from the 90s. Stories featuring him, but yeah, he's dead. They also have a story featuring one to find this black creature, which is interesting to say the least. You have a story for the Flashes. Yeah, these other stories are just really good. Yes, this one's done by Kyle Higgins. We have the Batman Who Laughs. Is that by James Steve? We have a Kyle Higgins story where it's basically focused on, looks like Ray Palmer, which that's interesting. Yeah, a Ray Palmer story written by Kyle Higgins. You're probably thinking, man, Kyle Higgins should, because how good the story is about Ray Palmer, you probably think he should write an ongoing series, or at least a mini-series for each Ray Palmer, given how good the story is. And I would agree. And we have No More Superheroes. This is a Renee Sawyer story. It's just basically a post-apocalyptic future story. It's not that interesting at all. No. The rest of the story is just okay. Some are good. Some feature John Constantine. Yes, John Constantine in his weird-looking art style. Yeah, this one's done by... Let's see. Who does this artwork? That is done by Rob Gow. This is a Matthew Rosberg story. Yes, John Constantine, written by Matthew Rosberg. It's not a bad story per se, but Matthew Rosberg's not a guy I would think would write this character. Yeah, but the rest of the stuff is okay at best. But the first story, the first one shot, that is a lot of really good stories. The second one, some okay and some really good stories. I'm gonna get this book roughly give it a 9 out of 10. It's good. Definitely. Oh, and you might be asking, Nick, is this the last of the Dark Knight Metal trades? Because it seems like you viewed almost every one of them. Well, kind of, yes. There's actually one left. And you're probably asking, there's one? Really? There's one? What is left? You pretty much viewed almost the entire crossover. Well, there's the Justice League tie-in. Yes. The Justice League tie-in done by Josh Williamson. The reason why I don't have the trade yet, and this is a very good reason, it's not been released yet. Yep. Alright, moving from 2020, a year that everybody hated because of the pandemic, moving back in time, way back in time to World War II, to the 1940s, we have All-Star Comics, Volume 7, collecting issues 29 to 33 of this 57-issue series. Yep. And the thing with these issues are, like, if you never read All-Star Comics, and you probably is like, wait, why is this supposed to short stories even though it's a JSA series? Yeah, that's kind of what this is. Bunch of short stories and going various solo stuff during an actual story to basically find as a group. Yes. There's a couple really good ones in here. One is it from issue 32, which features a return of the original Psycho Pirate. Not the one show Crisis on Infinite Earths. Oh no, this is the original one, who is no man. That story, Solomon Grundy. And I believe this was his last appearance for many years, because he disappeared and he didn't appear again until I think it was like the 70s. Where the JSA fought him, and then Green Lantern, Alan Scott, meanwhile, took him to the moon. Now, the members at this point in time, now, some of you may have heard of some of these characters, but not all of them. We have Hawkman, Johnny Thunder, the Thunderbolts, the original Dr. Midnight, the original Flash, Jay Garrick, Green Lantern, Alan Scott, Al Pritt, the Atom, The Earth 2 Wonder Woman. Yep. And I think that's it. Yep. Now, this guy here in this cover here, that is actually Brainwave. Yeah, he actually isn't. He is a classic JSA villain. This is one of his earliest appearances. The other stories, I mean, I would say that his story, Brainwave, Psycho Pirate, and Solomon Grundy, those three are the best ones. Love those stories. The one that this one here, it's okay. It's not that interesting at all. Now, you probably think it's 1940s. World War II? Not necessarily. This is actually from post-World War II. From 1946, from June 1946 to March 1947. About a year's worth of comics. Yeah, the reason why it's like, you read this like June/July, like, why is it like that? Because this book come out once every 2 months. That was the simple reason for it. Yeah. Classic stuff here. Now, I believe this is all still written by Gardner Fox, because he wrote pretty much like a lot of these stories. Let's see. Yeah, Gardner Fox is a writer for pretty much all the issues in here. Yep, he's a writer for all the issues. The artwork is done by some of my late. A lot of these writers, a lot of these artists are simply passed away, like Joe Kubert, Joe Gallagher, Matt Nadell, Sean Sheamer, Jim Robinson wrote a story for Submarine Man. That was a 2-page one. Let's see. Not much else to say about it. But this is just pure classic stuff. I'm going to give it a 9.5 out of 10. I mean, I only give it that one because of the 2 issues that are just not that interesting at all. I mean, yeah, we focus on classic JSF, like stuff for Psycho Pirate, Solomon Grundy, and, well, Brainwave. It's really interesting. I'm going to look up, see, like, because I know that, because when he was sent to the moon, and this is, of course, Solomon Grundy, let's see, I think he does make an appearance for many years. Let's see. I think he does make a return again for quite some time. Let's see here. Yeah, he stays up there until... Go away, please. Let's see. He doesn't return until Cancel Comic Clavicade. No, until Comic Clavicade 24. That's when he does technically return. Well, chronologically, he appears in All-Star Comics. Let's see. He appears in Just Like America 193. Well, publication-wise, he returns later on that year. So technically, you can definitely say Solomon Grundy's next appearance is in Just Like America 193. Or he returns with flashback stuff. Which, simply put, Grundy is here just to set up the backdoor power to the awesome All-Star Squadron series. Yeah. But not much else to say about this stuff. They're both really good. Okay, so that's it for Stick Review. Stay tuned for my review for 7 Deadly Sins. And that'll probably be it for today. Okay, to the next video. Bye.